You are one in a million, an inspiration, a young lady, so beautiful, so positive-minded, and just absolutely outstanding. What is HIV to you? We talk about it, but do we really know what it is? Do we sit in your shoes?
As I'm the person who's living with HIV and AIDS, to me, it's like it's a virus, and somewhere, somehow, I just have that attitude of like taking it as my friend, because I'm living with it. And I have nothing to do, like, ever since there's no cure for it, I have nothing to do, like, not to take my medication. Because at this time, I'm in a phase where I'm taking my ARVs, right? And ever since I'm taking my ARVs, I have to make sure that I'm just doing all the protocols in a correct way. If it's a day for me to go to see the doctor, I have to go there. If it's a day for me to go and take my medication, I have to go there. Because I think they know eventually why they told me to do so. And there was a time, I have to look back, there was a time when I was so ill. I was having something like a rash, and I didn't know what was it, And at that time, I went to the clinic. And when I get in there, I just thought, okay, it's a rash. When it's summer, you have that kind of a rash. And, okay, I went to the clinic and I told them that I have the rash. Okay, the first thing that the nurse asked me that, did you like ever go to test for HIV and AIDS? And I said, yeah, because I'm in the winter period. I went in 2 months back. And she said, okay. And then I went, and she said, okay, what are we going to do right now? We're going to do all the tests. Are you going to allow us to do that? And I said, yes, because I was like always doing the test now and then. And then she just started to counsel me. And then she told me that we're going to do the pre-test. And I said, it's okay, because eventually it was something that I was just doing it now and then. So I was like, okay, it's cool. And then we start like the counseling session. What you going to do when you find out that you are HIV positive? And I just like, okay, I'm going to be, I don't know, but then I'm going to be fine. Because what I'm here for is for help. And I need to know actually what's the cause of the rash. And I need to know actually what can if I'm sick, I have to take the medication for what's capable of ever since I'm sick. And then we start okay, she look at me and then she smiled at me and you're just a brave girl. And I'm like, thank you so much. And then here it comes. We take the pre-test, we prick it, and then he take the blood. He did the blood sample and everything. And then, okay, we wait for that 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, and then she was talking to me, and then, okay, those she was just trying to make me feel comfortable. And then here we come. The results came. Eventually, I was keep on saying it, okay, I need to see, because she told me that when you're positive, it's going to be you're going to see the lines. It's going to be 2 lines. When you're negative, it's going to be 1 line. And okay, here comes the 1 line. And, gosh, here comes the 2 line. And I was like, damn it. I was having that. But then all of a sudden, I started to become. Because I didn't know that there is HIV. And I was I can say I was so grateful because I did some studies of HIV and AIDS, unlike the person who doesn't know anything about HIV and AIDS. And I got those people, when I was in the organization, I was having people living with the very same virus that I have. And I just saw them, they were not feeling ashamed of themselves. They were speaking out, they were free to talk, And then she told me then that you're positive. And I was like, okay. And I was so calm at that time. And I start to recall back. When was the time maybe I got this?
Yeah.
I
was just going to ask you, when did you get it?
Yes, because when you're your moves. You know how you do it. You do things.
Yeah.
And then I start to remember, okay, there was this boyfriend of mine. He was in Canada. And when he was there, he was living his own life. there was here in South Africa. You know, sometimes guys lies. And when he was back, we did like, we had the unprotected sex. I have to be like, to say the facts.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like, you just missed someone and you were condomizing, but then, you know, there's this thing, as we youth, we like, okay, he was not here, then, you know, to make him happy, you know. And then we didn't condomize. Afterwards, okay, we had a conversation, you know, I don't know where was it. And then I was like, okay, you see now we made something so terrible. And did you like, when you were there, did you go for testing? And he was like, yes, babe.
So take us back. You're saying, because it sounds, okay, so it sounds like you then went and told him.
Yeah.
So you told him.
You
what
know,
the
that
results
time,
were.
you know, that time when I go for testing, it was a rash, right? It was something that was starting as a rash. But then I thought maybe it's a rash because it's hot.
Yeah.
You know.
But when you found out that you're
I'm positive.
did you go back to the gentleman that you believe
Yes. I went
is
back to him.
responsible? And
I
what did
asked
he
him,
say?
okay, did you know like, can you be honest with me? Do you know your status? And he was like, yes, babe, I know my status. What's wrong? And like, okay, can we go together and test? And you know, he started to refuse. Like, Spusi, you know, I did this thing
Gosh.
all the times. And, you know, when I was there, we're like, you know, this old mutual protocols. You have to go and test. You have like, you know my job, you know. And I was like, okay, now it's my time. I know about old mutual. You're telling me about your job. Now it's my time.
Now it's my job.
Now we need to go together. We're lovers. And, you know,
Yeah.
ever since we're making things together,
Yeah.
now we have like to go together and test them.
Yeah.
Okay. Ever since like I'm with you right now, these are my results. I'm positive. And, okay. I've been like faithful when he was not here.
Who says these are my results? I'm positive. Is it you
Me.
telling him, or
It's
is
me.
it?
It's me telling him. Because
Right.
like, I have nothing to hide.
All right.
And at this time, I was just starting to develop this kind of anger because I was having that in mind. I was so loyal to him. I've been so honest to him. And now these are the results. And I was just asking myself, there are so many guys out there. Why I didn't like get a boyfriend? And like being faithful, being loyal to a person, and then these are the rewards. So, and then, you know, we start to have that, you know, when you're like having that, start to develop that kind of anger inside yourself. I'm like, what I'm going to do just now, I'm going to like, you know, when you're having that, we're going to fight. Because like, I think you know exactly that you're positive. But then you're just trying like to keep yourself in that safety corner.
Yeah. So what does he say?
And he was like, Spusi, please, let's talk.
Yeah.
And like, okay, let's talk then. And it was overnight.
Right.
And we're like, okay. You know this, when you're like wearing this kind of, you're like visiting
Yeah.
your boyfriend in that just gesture, like, okay, I'm not here to fight, but then I'm going to fight because it's like, he's making just a fool of me. I just took out the pajamas. I went to the legging. I'm like, I'm ready for the fight. If it's not like telling me the truth that I need to know, I'm going to like, you know. And then he started like, let's talk. And he started to cry.
He cried.
Yes. And I'm like, okay. Here's the crying session.
He cries.
Yes. And now here's the crying session. What's wrong?
Okay.
And he was like, Spusi, I'm very sorry. And like, okay, you sorry for what?
Uh-huh.
Spusi, there's a lot that we need to talk about. And like, okay, what is it? And you know, inside me, I was having that, oh my gosh, that's he's going to tell me that he's positive. Maybe he's going to say something. Maybe he was married on Canada. Maybe it's going to be something else. But then I need this now. But then,
So just before you continue, at that moment, you're thinking that you are the one that is the only one carrying these kind of news. You're thinking that you're the one responsible coming to tell him that you're positive, but you're not thinking that he's going to say he's positive,
you know,
that he knows he's positive.
you know, you can just see that there's something that's like fishing water to this person. Because like, when I'm talking to you, you have like, you know, this eyes techniques. And this, you can see the face. Even if, this kind of frowning, this kind of shaking, you can see that she's not like I know him because we're dating. I know him very well.
Okay.
And then this time I can see that there's something.
Okay.
And then he started to cry. When he was crying, starting to ask some questions. And he ended up saying, can you go to my luggage? And I stand up on the bed and I go to his luggage. And then, okay, I'm in the luggage. Okay, so we open the luggage. And and he was like, okay, are you sure you're not going to fight with me? You're not going to do something terrible? And I was like, nigga. Nigga, please. Okay. And, I said, I'm in the luggage, bro. And he was like, okay, can you open it? And I'm like, okay. When I opened, the first thing, because he didn't know that I'm going to come. He was having his ARVs. And he was putting it in his luggage.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's how he breaks it to you, by telling you to go to his bag and go
Yeah.
see his ARVs because he knows they're there.
Yeah, because he can't just face me and telling me that I'm positive. The guys we're dating. And
So
I was
you see the ARVs, and
I,
then
I see the ARVs.
did you know that there are ARVs at that stage? Did you know how to?
I know the
recognize?
ARVs. I know the ARVs because I'm working with the youth all the time.
Right.
And I work with the clinics.
Right.
So I know what are the ARVs.
Right. So you see ARVs. Take us to that moment.
I saw the ARVs. I'm like, okay, this is you. And I pick them. I look at them. I just put them in the bed. I was starting to count. How many are there inside? And I'm like, oh no, in the packet there are 60. You know when you're being taught about these things, because this kind of trainings we go through, and I know everything about HIV and AIDS. And I'm like, okay, almost 12 tablets. Okay. This thing starts way back. And at that time, I was supposed to control my temper. Though I was feeling that I'm out of this world. I tried to control my temper. I sit down and I said, okay, now it's me and you. We have to be honest to each other. So tell me, when did you go for testing? And for how long you just taking this treatment? And remember, in this house, there's your grandmother, there are kids, so we have we have to lower our voices. Mm-hmm. It's between the two of us. And I was having that, I'm not going to leave you. Because he was Sibisi, I know ever since you found this, you're going to leave me. And, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do anything bad. We have to talk. We need to talk. And at that time, he told me that it's been the period of, he was there for 4 months. When he's back, he's going to be here for a month. When you're busy, that's the time we're not going to see each other. He's going to even go without seeing me. I'm going to be I'm working, how I work. So, we're not going to have that time to have that sexy thing, that sexy moment. And then I'm okay, it's been 2 years I'm taking this. And I'm wow. So why you told me that you love me. And you told me that you're going to be honest with me. And now, why are you doing this? And he was I didn't know how I'm going to tell you. And I just thought you're going to leave me. And I was okay. And at that time, I was I was having the anger, but then at the same time, it was a relief.
Okay. So have you forgiven him? Has he asked for forgiveness? And why didn't you prosecute him?
He asked for forgiveness. And for the fact he was on his ARVs, right? I did approach him to go for the CD4 count. Because I was I need to know your CD4 count now.
Small. Did he ask for your forgiveness?
He did.
Did you forgive him?
At that time, I didn't.
Why did you not prosecute him?
I didn't. And I didn't even think of it.
Why didn't you?
When you're in the time of being traumatized.
Okay.
You didn't even think about the prosecution.
Did you think about prosecuting him post the trauma? After you had made
what
peace?
I did, I only go for counseling. That's what I did.
So how have you dealt with him and his deceit?
what I did for him, I told him that, okay, ever since we just got this, you're gonna like, what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna do A, B, C, and then we're no longer gonna be together. I'm gonna do my own things, you're gonna do your own things.
So are you still together?
Not at all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Every time after such a session and a realization of how many wicked characters we have out there, you cannot get used to hearing these kind of stories. It is amazing, it is appalling, it is disgusting. There is no words to describe how evil a human being to the core can be, to take somebody's life, make a decision for somebody, leave them infected with HIV, walk away scot-free and continue doing it to somebody else because he was not prosecuted. She did nothing about it. She simply forgave and dealt with her own pain. Well, I certainly, big up to you. I don't know if I would have done that. I have no idea. Don't cry. You're going to make me cry.